Loving Earth workshop of 2025. I'm so privileged and excited to introduce our mentor, guide, and spiritual leader, Sri Vivek Gupta, also known as Vivek Ji. He is an inspiration to me and so many of us in our community, and without him, the space would not be possible. Over the past several years, the space has grown tremendously under the guidance of Sri Vivek Ji. And recently, I happened to attend our very first in person Loving Earth retreat in Orange, Connecticut. And the theme was Living Lightly, Thinking Deeply, in which Vivek Ji led us through several frameworks led us through several frameworks to practice Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means unconditional, uh, unwavering, single pointed love towards our Mother Earth. Sri Vivekji practices Ananya Bhakti in his day to day life. With Bhagwan's grace today, we have the privilege to be in Vivekji's presence as he introduces the theme for this year, which is Rishi Patanjali's don'ts or yamas and do's or niyamas. So, without further delay, I will pass it over to our very own Sri Vivekji to grace us with the first workshop of the year, which is on Ahimsa, no harming. Over to you, Vivekji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, and greetings from Niagara Falls. Thank you for the kind descriptions and happy to be with everyone. A joyous 2025 to all. In our culture, a special teaching, which I reflect on always, is a child can never be greater than their parent. A child can never be greater than their parent. Now, I reflect on that always because I like to think that I'm greater than my parents, but that's not the point. The implication of this teaching is that the effect can never be greater than the cause. The effect can never be greater than the cause. The effect depends on the cause, and so the effect should serve the cause. And I feel all of us understand this, we appreciate this. Now extrapolate this to the earth. The earth is our parent. We are the child. We depend on our earth, and so we should serve our earth. To practice this truth, our community organized itself 3 years ago. In January of 2022, we organized ourselves to practice this truth in a focused way. And we described this facet of our community as Prthvi Seva Sangha, a community that serves Earth, a community that serves the Earth by treating the Earth like our child. It was Raja Prithu, one of the greatest leaders in our tradition, who cared for the earth so much that the earth came to be known as Prthvi, that is the daughter of Raja Prithu. 2 years later, in January of 2024, we rethought our relationship with our earth. Our earth is a loving earth. She is the parent. We are the child. And the more that we understand and appreciate this, then the way we'll reciprocating this is by loving Earth. And that is why when you see our logo now, there is an arrow that's connecting the words loving and earth, because it goes both ways. We are experiencing a loving earth, And if we really experience this, how will we live? By loving Earth. This is our Loving Earth Sangha. The flow that we go through in understanding and practicing loving Earth is a flow described as lest. Just now, I'd completed a silence retreat. And I was sharing with our seekers in our silence retreat, in reference to our lifestyle, we tend to ignore our lifestyle. We sleep too late, we look at too many screens, etc. And a way to transform our lifestyle is to appreciate our lifestyle. Appreciate having good health. Appreciate having opportunities for self-development. Whenever we forget, we ignore. Whenever we remember, we appreciate. Lest is built on lest we forget. We have a tendency to forget. So we need to put in a flow to inhibit us from forgetting our loving Earth. Lest stands for learning, engaging, supporting, and transforming. The foundation of lest is the L, or the learning. Over the past 3 years, we have facilitated over 30 workshops on our environment. Unique workshops by unique experts. I keep sharing with our Loving Earth team that we should form a study group using these workshops. A typical study group flows for 32 weeks over the year. We have that kind of content. I want to highlight that our community is engaged in loving Earth, but this is not exclusive of, we are also tending to our local balavihars. We are also tending to our regional centers or mandirs. In addition to this, we are also trying to serve that which affects all of us, that which impacts all of us. I'm highlighting this so we all think bigger, act bigger, that there's more to what you can do than just a balavihar, just a center or a mandir. Try to incorporate loving Earth into your day, into your culture, in your center, in your mandir, and so on, to help inspire you to feel that you can do this. We're now going to play a video that's highlighting everything we've accomplished over the past 3 years, but specifically what we felt last year. Please watch and listen.
If you didn't have the body, how would you study? If we didn't have this earth, how would we engage in karma yoga? So us having a loving earth wing in Chinmay mission, in Sanatana Dharma, is only natural.
Those are some of the highlights of our past year, our past years. When this video is shared on our YouTube channel, you'll get to look at this more, you'll get a chance to look at this more closely and listen to pleasant background music. I'm rewinding and then moving forward. I welcome everyone to our commencing workshop for 2025. We've completed 3 years of Prthvi Seva Sangha, which is now Loving Earth Sangha. Completed this means we've experienced less. We've learned, we've engaged, we've supported, we've transformed. And you got to see some of these highlights. All of this was done while tending to our Balavihars, that is our children's program, while tending to our centers, that is the infrastructure of our ashrams. These truths can help us to think bigger, to serve in a more big way. Now, focusing on 2025, what are we going to do this year? Whenever I teach contemplation, I've been sharing with seekers, contemplation has to be systematic so that this becomes systemic. If it's random, it won't become part of us. But if it's systematic, it will become systemic. Our earth is having to work harder than ever. Agreed? There's more people than ever. Our earth is having to absorb more than ever. There's more that's being taken from her, being put into her. Since she's doing more for us, we have to do more for her. Remember the arrow in Loving Earth. Loving Earth is growing, she's loving us more. Our reciprocity in loving Earth back has to grow too. It's not different than every year I ask you for more money, correct? I ask you to donate more. And what's remarkable is that you do. I don't know why you take my message so seriously, but you do. I was studying all of our fundraising over the past years, and 2024 was where we donated the most money to humanity. The way that we can do more for our earth. There are many yogas that we come across, specifically in the Bhagavad Gita. You've all heard of Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Yoga is a way to think. It is not just a posture or asana. It is not just an environment like hot yoga or beach yoga. Yoga is a way to think, and so relatedly, it is a way to live. A way to think, a way to live. This year, we are going to learn, engage, support, transform in reference to Prthvi Yoga. A way to think about Earth, a way to live for Earth. How many of you read the email that our team had sent to all of you just a few days ago? I think it came from a Loving Earth account. I'm going to ask you again, how many of you actually read the content of the email? See how just because it says Loving Earth in your inbox doesn't mean you read it. You read that email. It's very different. There was a beautiful insight that our team shared, and that is intentional living is a way of expressing our love, naturally our love towards our earth. Intentional living. We want to know how can we be more loving earth? It is through intentional living. Prithvi Yoga, we are going to learn about through the Yoga Sutras. The Yoga Sutras have been compiled, they've been designed by Rishi Patanjali. The word Rishi means seer. One who can see what we cannot see. One who's a visionary. A visionary is able to care for humanity, for society, many generations into the future, centuries into the future, even millennia. So the Yoga Sutras by Rishi Patanjali, within this, there is a section of sutras that have become popularly known as the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga. How many of you have heard of this before? So I'm checking in with all of you. Please share with me in the chat again. What does yoga mean? But please use the reference of what I've been sharing in our first workshop. What does yoga mean? It is a way to think and live. Excellent. We have a way to think and live in reference to karma, which means selflessness, bhakti, which is dedication, jnana, which is insight, and now prithvi, that is how to love our earth more. Ashtanga means 8. There are 8 degrees of diversity and more so depth into how one can think and live. This year, we're going to tune into the first 2 steps or elements of Ashtanga Yoga. Right now, I'm trying to set up the foundation for how lest will flow this year in our Loving Earth Sangha. We're going to explore the Yoga Sutra, which has been designed by Rishi Patanjali. He is a visionary. And this visionary has provided us with teachings that applied in 2022 and 3 and 4 and 5 and forever. In the Yoga Sutra by Rishi Patanjali, there is an emphasis on Ashtanga Yoga. It is a way to think and live in 8 different degrees. We're going to take up the first 2. The first 2, and right now I'll just talk about the first. These are known as the yamas. Yama, plural. Yama, in the big picture, means discipline. Yama, in a simplistic way, means don'ts. Really, that's how discipline starts for us, correct? We shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. When your college-going sons and daughters came home from university, what was one of the first things that you told them? Don't sleep so late. Don't wake up so late. Yes, that's how that discipline starts with, don't do this. There are 5 yamas. Only then can we evolve to start to practice the niyamas, which are the do's. Like on a car, what's more important, the accelerator or the brake? The gas pedal or the stop pedal? Now you're going to say the gas pedal, but it's wrong. How would that fit into the example I'm trying to create? It's the brake pedal. That's more important. If you don't go anywhere, that's okay. But if you go somewhere you're not supposed to go, that's dangerous. So the yamas and the niyamas. As we start to unfold the yamas or the don'ts, I want you to pause and reflect, pause and feel how our culture, our trust triangle that is made up of our guides and our maps, they fundamentally are sanatana. Sanatana means timeless or eternal. It means ever practical. Can you imagine that the Yoga Sutras are teaching us how to live in a sustainable way? Sustainability literally means that which should last forever. So there's so many connections between Prthvi Yoga and what the world needs. Let's move into the yamas, or the first don't, and that is Aparigraha. Please try to say that back to me. Aparigraha. It's made up of 3 parts. Graha means to hold. Can you all hold something and show it to me? I see a bottle of glue or a pen. Yes. Now, parigraha means to hold tightly. Can you show me that now? And now, if you add the prefix a, what does it mean? To not tightly hold. To not tightly hold. For some reason, I am explaining to what aparigraha is, but I'm supposed to be explaining to what ahimsa is. Traditionally, when you go through the yamas, aparigraha, I believe, is the first one, but we're reorienting that for loving earth. We're going to start with ahimsa. Ahimsa. Himsa means to harm. Ahimsa means non-harming. Our first yama or don't is ahimsa. When I was growing up, whenever I thought about ahimsa, Gandhiji came to my mind. He's an icon of ahimsa. And as a child, what I understood about ahimsa is it is not hitting. So whenever I didn't hit my sisters, I'm like Gandhiji. I can make fun of them all I want, but I didn't hit them, so that's non-violence, correct? That's non-hitting. But as I grew up, I realized ahimsa is not hitting. It is non-harming. And for a seeker like all of you are, non-harming is on a sliding scale. The way you engaged in ahimsa or non-harming in 2022 is to become more intense, more comprehensive in 2023 and 2024 and 2025. A way that I'm trying to practice this is to engage in R0. What is R0? R1 is reduce, R2 is reuse, R3 is recycle. What's R1? Sorry, R0? Refuse. I am trying to practice ahimsa or non-harming through refusing to buy any form of plastic. Plastic simply cannot be recycled. It is a form of greenwashing to think that plastic can be recycled. It can be modified, but it can't be recycled in the sense of the way that we're told that plastic can be recycled. I was literally at a store the other day buying some materials for our ashram, and there is a sign there that says, plastic cutlery goes in the trash. It cannot be recycled. A store that sells this is sharing that. And that's my point, is that in 2022, I may have felt ahimsa is recycling plastic, but I'm trying to slide my scale. I'm trying to intensify my practice in 23, 24, 25 to not touch plastic in terms of buying it, creating it. How many of you are in sync with what I'm sharing so far? Good. These are all broad thoughts, setting up the foundation for Prthvi Yoga, the yamas and niyamas, ahimsa. Now, zooming in more, a way that all of us can practice ahimsa or non-harming, to be earth-loving, is to reanalyze our relationship with ultra-processed food. Ultra-processed food. This also is like a Sanskrit compound. There's like 3 parts to it. Back in the day, what did we eat? Food. Think about your grandparents. What did your grandparents eat? Food. They ate carrots that came from a farm. They ate grains that came from the local baker. Agreed? For our grandparents, there was probably no such thing as fast food. It was just food. Then for our parents, it became processed food. Instead of eating sandwiches, we ate macaroni and cheese. Instead of eating carrots, we ate those small carrots that come in those bags, correct? And carrots don't grow so orange. Carrots are more orangish, pinkish, but we eat like cartoon carrots. So food became processed. Now my generation, what do I eat? I don't eat food. I don't even eat processed food. I eat ultra processed food. I can't remember the documentary's name, but I think it's called Super Size Me or Food Inc. or something like that. I watched it a long time ago. And one of the last scenes in the movie was showing how French fries decay. How many of you remember this scene? So they have this pack of French fries, this box of French fries, and they leave it out, just leave it on your kitchen table. And they showed a fast forward, a time lapse of this. And I think it was after 8 weeks that French fry started to decay. Imagine how ultra preserved that French fry is, that it will last 8 weeks. We're all thinking amazing. With the snowstorms and who knows about shelters, we should just populate our shelters with French fries. Ultra processed food. Now, a way to reanalyze this, I'm going to give you 3 words: chemicalization, chemicals, chemistry. Ultra processed food starts with chemicalization. And really what that means is we are taking Earth, pure, natural, radiant Earth, and we're messing around with it. We're chemicalizing our Earth. We're pulling from her, we're extracting from her, we're pushing into her this unhealthy relationship where there's a chemicalization. And from this chemicalization, me extracting from the earth, what did I extract? Chemicals. Chemicals. And we all need to eat. We've seen those stickers on cars that share farmers feed cities, correct? So these chemicals, we took it from the earth through a chemicalization process, that which was not pure and natural and healthy. Now all of that has been compromised, and we put this into our food. And then what changes? Our chemistry. Our chemistry changes. I was sharing with a relative recently about how each of us has a circadian rhythm. And what that means is every being on this world is supposed to follow the sun. For those who are not nocturnal, half of us in this gathering are nocturnal, some of us are not nocturnal. We're supposed to wake up when the sun wakes up, and we're supposed to sleep when the sun sleeps. Nocturnal animals, it's the opposite, but they still follow the sun, correct? Bats, as an example, werewolves, zombies, and so on. So there's a rhythm. And those who work a night shift, those who stay up late at night, it messes with their circadian rhythm. It actually, there's so many studies that have proven this, it reduces their life expectancy. I was telling someone who's training in nursing right now that as he secures long-term employment, try not to work at night. If it's possible, try not to work at night because it's not worth it. You're going to be giving up your days and weeks and months of life expectancy for what? So that you can have more comfort externally. Our chemistry changes. I'm rewinding and moving forward. It's January. It's early January. And there's a deep freeze in most of the Northeast. So I can sort of sense that with everyone. So it's like I've turned the car on to warm everyone up. This electric car, yes? to warm everyone up. We are grateful to Rishi Patanjali for giving us the Yoga Sutras, specifically a framework on how we can engage in Prithvi Yoga, starting with the don'ts, the first of which is non-harming. A way we can intensify our non-harming towards our loving earth is to reanalyze our relationship with ultra-processed food. Ultra-processed food means a chemicalization. It is compromising the naturalness of the earth, putting this into foods that become what we are. As you eat, so you are. And then our chemistry changes. You must have read recently that the Surgeon General in America would like for a warning label to be put on alcohol that it's a direct cause of cancer. He has also stated the same for social media and so on. It changes our chemistry. Okay. Now, this is very doomsday, like many of you doom scroll. So it's like Vivek is on this doomsday message to begin the 4th year of loving Earth. Where's the love? It's only hate that's coming out. What we can do once we reanalyze our relationship with ultra-processed food is to engage in the Ahimsa by buying local. Buying local. You have to eat. It's one of our physiological needs. When you buy local, automatically what that local food doesn't have to have in the same amounts is preservatives. If it's local, it doesn't have to travel so far. If it's local, it doesn't have to last so long. Buy local. And just like thrifting is a new trend, in our culture, we've thrifted our whole lives. You think I wore original clothes. I wore my cousin's clothes. And the same goes with our kids now. You think we buy them new clothes? They're so cool that they thrift without even knowing what thrifting is. So similarly, when we are buying local, it's helping our reduction in chemicalization and chemicals and the change in our chemistry. So many preservatives are not needed. As well as when we buy local, there is less of an emphasis on a corporate culture. I'd read a long time ago that Jeff Bezos went shopping. He went grocery shopping, and what did he buy? Whole Foods. See, I buy from Whole Foods. He bought Whole Foods. So now imagine the original Whole Foods outlet. I'm sure it would have operated more like a co-op rather than a corporation. Yes, a co-op to spread Whole Foods. Now there's a culture of profits. So buy local. And if you can't buy local, then here's another way to practice ahimsa or non-harming. It is to make local, but here I'm going to extrapolate a little bit more, make low chemical. Local is a short form for low chemical. You make your own food. Whether you grow it, you can't see it now, but we have this big green tray in the back where we're going to grow vegetables. We've just moved here and it's winter, so it's not possible. But to grow your own vegetables, to grow your own dal, whatever you can grow, grow it. Local means low chemical, less preservatives. It's simpler also. Correct? Whatever is local, whatever is low chemical will be simpler. Whenever there's more complex, even if you take medicines, the more complex a medicine it is, the more compounds of chemicals there are. But if you take ordinary vitamin C, it's probably just one compound or two compounds. So buy local, make local, buy low chemical, make low chemical. With the reanalyzation of our usage of ultra-processed foods, we can start to buy and make local. Now, here's my final thought before we get into our dynamics. I'm not an expert in any sort of environmental science. I'm far from it. I went to business school. It's like I'm anti-environmental science. But I do love our earth because I have not forgotten how much she loves me and you. If you would like more details on ultra-processed food, I had listened to the daily on December 13th of 2024. The whole podcast was on ultra-processed foods. I would suggest that you do the same to know more details about what are ultra-processed foods, what to avoid. And that's your other reference, but here's really what I want to hammer out. Puja Swami Chinmayananda shared, knowing is not doing. Doing is doing. As I was speaking, I saw so many of you smile and nod and write in the chat. Everything I've shared, you already know. But it's doing that is doing. That's why I had shared finally, buy local, so do it. Make low chemical, so do it. We've been exposed to, you can make laundry detergent with low chemicals. You can make hand creams with low chemicals. My kids always ask me, why did they have to put gelatin in marshmallows? Why did they have to put gelatin in creams? What is the need for bones and bone marrow to make this product? Doing is doing. When you go to our YouTube channel and you watch the video that you just got to see more carefully, the most powerful part, or one of the most powerful parts of this video, of what we've done over the past 3 years, is we've released checklists that help us to be accountable. Accountability is not just knowing, but it is doing. We had our introduction, we had our discourse, which was an overview of our past 3 years and a flow for our upcoming year. Now, what I want us to do is engage in our dynamics, and here's what you're going to do for the dynamics. I want you to go to where your food area is in your apartment or your home. Hear me out, and then you can do it. I want you to get one canned product from your cupboard. All of you, can you show me by a show of hands you have something canned in your cupboard? Okay. Then I want you to get something bottled in your fridge. You all have something bottled in your fridge. If you're confused, do you mean bottle of beer or do you mean like a bottle of vodka? Bring a bottle of hot sauce or something like that, okay? A condiment, mustard. And I want you to get something bagged from your freezer. Something that's bagged from your freezer, okay? So when I say I want you to get it, and then when you come back, I want you to show everyone really what's in your cupboard. Your cupboard, your fridge, and your freezer. Then I want you to go to the ingredients, what it's made out of, and I want you to read it out loud. So if you happen to have a bottle of orange juice, I want you to read out loud what's in that orange juice. Make sure you read it out loud. If there's people around you, read louder. It's like a PSA, a personal or a public service announcement. And then after that, I want you to write out what that is made out of. So if I have a box of pasta, I have to write out all of that into my notebook or a separate sheet of paper. Got it? So get those 3 products, read it, write it. Please do this now. So show everyone. It's like the TSA when they open your bag. Is this yours? What's really inside of here? So show everyone, then read it out loud, and then start to write what that is made out of. I think I saw pea soup. I think I see some mushrooms. I see some tortillas, some chips, some peanut butter, some Szechuan chutney, some Parmesan cheese, some pickle, some stuff that looks like it's explosive. Okay, so now start to write. So you're reading it out loud to yourself and the people around you, and then write it too. It's taking me forever to write all these ingredients. How much your hand hurts just from writing that. Imagine how much your intestine hurts, your liver, your kidney, your biology, all of those chemicals. It's taking me forever to write all these ingredients. How much your hand hurts just from writing that. Imagine how much your intestine hurts, your liver, your kidney, your biology, all of those chemicals. Okay, this is taking way too long. If we just look at one gem, strawberries, that's obvious. And really it should end with that, but there's also high fructose corn syrup. There's also corn syrup. Why both? Then sugar, fruit pectin, it's made out of strawberries. Why do you have to put more in there? Citric acid. We're going to have a short discussion now because our team still has lots to share. Just a discussion for a few minutes. And I want you to share with the people in your discussion group, what revelation do you feel from what is making up that which is canned, bottled, and bagged? Like, what did you realize about this? How do you feel about this? So accept the invitation to the breakout room, share what you have realized, how you feel, and we'll come back shortly to finish our workshop. What's the best drink in the world? Water, right? How can you disagree with that truth? Water is the best drink in the world. When you really are thirsty, it is water. And what is water made up of? Water. So foods that are more low chemical would be the same way. For the sake of time now, as you're coming back to our Sangha, you can write in the chat what your revelation is. After you appreciated a little bit more how ultra processed our kitchens are, our kitchen areas are, whether it's canned or bottled or bagged. So please share that in the chat. And I'm going to transition to our team now to share some more details about how awesome 2025 is going to be.
Howdy, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, and fast food makes your life go away fast. Okay, go.
I think I had two takeaways from Vicky's talk or discussion today, where the effect depends on the cause, and as the effect, we depend on the earth. And because the earth is doing so much more for us, we have to do more for the earth. And it's only via dedication that we too can become like Raja Prthvi, who cared for the earth so much. And so what we plan to do for 2025 is to dedicate ourselves to the earth more. And so if you look in the chat, I am sharing the link to a sheet. What we're calling this is the dedication sheet. And I will also share my screen if I have the permissions to do so, which looks like I do. Can you all see my screen? Okay, let me know if you don't. But what you see here is a sheet where you can track your progress or your goals for the rest of this year. So what we would like you to do is to enter your name into column A and fill out column B once you do that. So it's important to make a dedication and set a monthly goal for our evolution and as well as to support the earth. And each month, at the end of each workshop, we will take about 5 minutes and we'll come up with a goal, ideally related to the workshop. And in column C and E and all the columns for the rest of the year, we have 3 statuses that you can fill. You can either fill it as you've achieved that goal, or you're making progress towards it, or you have not even started on it. So for example, the goal I had written down before this workshop was to take 3-minute showers. And for each of the 5 days this year, I have not started on that yet. So that is something that I would like to change when I reevaluate this in 30 days. So what I would like you to do is to take 60 seconds, since we are short on time, to come up with a goal, as well as to bookmark the sheet and periodically come back to it. And we will definitely come back to it at least every month during our workshops. So I will start a 60-second timer to give you all some time to do that.
Just share one final thought, Aditya. Thank you for everything you've shared. Our team is really solid. That includes Aditya, who's shared a lot today, and you'll get to continue to meet our team month after month. What an awesome idea to have this communal dedication to our earth. Please don't just do this for yourself. Obviously, you should do it for yourself, but do this as your community. So with your family, with your Balaviar class, with your center, with your mandir, for everyone to do this together. It's really well thought out and well organized. So please do this. And the retreat, book that into your year right now. We had a really awesome retreat in Orange, and now we'll have an equally awesome retreat in Boston. Don't miss out on that opportunity. I will formally finish this workshop, but what I also wanted to do, and somehow I spoke too much today because I was in silence retreat mode, I had some ego erasers that I planned. So I hope some of you will stay back just for a few minutes so we can all get to know each other better. The more that we feel that we are a community, the more we can think big and live big. So I'll finish the workshop now. You can keep using the sheet, look at the checklist, and then we'll start our ego erasers for anyone who's tough enough to stay. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be joy. Have a joyous month.